Professor Satish Prakash Shukla. Again, I am with you with 20 new MCQs which are based on Research Aptitude. This is 10th video in English that is based on Research Aptitude. Question number 181 to 200 with their answers are discussed in this video. Hope this video will be useful to you in different competitive examinations. Let us start with the question. Question number 181. The type of research in which researcher gains familiarity with phenomenon or achieves new insight into it is known as diagnostic research study, exploratory research study, descriptive research study, hypothesis testing study. Friends, here researcher wants to be familiar with the phenomenon or he wants to achieve new insight. So such a thing can be done only if exploratory research study is done. So option number 2 is correct. Question number 182. Identify the correct sequence of developing measurement tools. A. Specification of concept dimensions. B. Selection of indicators. C. Concept development. And D. Formation of index. Friends, let us see the options. These 4 options are there. First, C. Concept development will come. Concept is to be developed for preparing tool. Then specification of concept dimensions, different dimensions of the concept are to be decided at second step. And at third step, selection of indicators. And last one, D, formation of index. So option 2 is correct. C, A, B, D, it is shown there. C, concept development. A, specification of concept dimension. B, selection of indicators. D, formation of index. Arrange the following scales of measurement in a descending order from higher order to lower order. Question number 183. Scales of measurement are given and we have to arrange them from higher to lower level. 4 scales are there and let us see the options. These options are there. Without seeing the option, let us see. The higher order scale is ratio. So B will come first. Then after that, second higher order scale is interval. Then third higher order scale is ordinal. And last is nominal. So option number 2, BDAC, in that way, ratio is the highest scale. Interval is second higher level. Third ordinal and last nominal in descending order. Question number 184. Given below are 2 statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as reason R. Assertion A. Subjects are not selected randomly in ex post facto research. Reason R. Though ex post facto research examines cause and effect, but it is not part of experimental research. In the light of above statements, choose the most appropriate answer from the options given below. Option number 1. Both A and R are correct and R is the correct explanation of A. Second, A is correct but R is not correct. 3. A is not correct but R is correct. 4. Both A and R are correct and R is not the correct explanation of A. Now see the assertion. Subjects are not selected randomly in ex post facto research. It is true. In ex post facto means in causal comparative research method, subjects are not selected randomly. It is true. The statement that is given in reason is true, but it is not a reason of assertion A. Though ex post facto research examines cause and effect, but it is not part of experimental research. It is true, it is not experimental research, but it examines, it checks the cause and effect relationship between independent and dependent variables. But it is not a reason of assertion A. So, option number 4 is correct. Both A and R are correct, and R is not the correct explanation of A. Question number 185. The type of research in which researcher gains familiarity with phenomenon or achieves new insight into it is known as explanation, prediction, exploration, and estimation. The type of research in which researcher gains familiarity, it is familiarity with phenomenon or achieves new insight into it is known as exploration. Option 3 is correct. Question number 186. A teacher gave test to 50 students of his class and awarded letter grades A, B, C, D, and E to indicate their level of performance in hierarchical order from best to the poorest. Which of the following combinations of the scales of measurements has been used? Number 1, ordinal and ratio scales, nominal and interval scales, nominal and ordinal scales, interval and ratio scales. Friends, here two scales are used. First, A, B, C, D, and E grades are given to the students on the basis of their performance. So, these grades are for categorizing the students in different categories. So, it is nominal scale. And again, it is said A, B, C, D, and E to indicate their level of performance in hierarchical order, means in particular order. So it is ordinal scale from base to poorest. So it is ordinal scale. So here nominal and ordinal scales are used. The combination that is given in option number 3, it is correct. Question 187. Match list 1 with list 2. List 1 concept or theory are given in ABCD. In A, development of theory. B, finding solution of immediate problems in a particular setting without generalization of findings beyond the situation studied. C, adaptation of theories. D, no hypotheses are proposed or tested. In list 2, description about this concept or theory is given. In number 1, assessment studies. Number 2, applied research. Number 3, action research. Number 4, basic research. These are the options. Again, we see list 1, A, development of theory. Theory is developed by using basic research. Theory or concept is developed by applying basic research. B, finding solution of immediate problems in a particular setting without generalization. Generalization is not the main objective of the study that happens in action research, and problems of particular setting are solved by action research. So B of list 1 is related with action research of list 2. Adaptation of theories. Theories are adapted in applied research. So C of list 1 is related with 2 of list 2. And no hypotheses are proposed or tested. It happens in assessment studies. So D of list 1 is related with first option of list 2. In that way, the correct option is option number 2. And in that sense, again we see development of theory, basic research, finding solution of immediate problems in a particular setting without generalization of findings beyond the situation studied. That is action research, adaptation of theories, applied research. No hypotheses are proposed or tested. Assessment studies. Question 188. The test retest, the split half, the equivalent, parallel form, and rational equivalence methods are used for validity of a test, usability of a test, reliability of a test, validity and reliability of a test. So friends, here these all the things, test, retest, test, split half, the equivalent parallel form, and rational equivalence are the methods used for finding reliability of a test. Option 3 is correct. 189 question. A projective technique is used for the assessment of attitude, academic achievement, intelligence, personality. A very simple question it is. Projective technique is used for the assessment of personality. Option number 4 is correct. Question 190. Which of the following techniques is not covered under non-probability sampling? Non-probability sampling. Stratified random, purposive sampling, incidental sampling, quota sampling. Purposive, incidental, and quota are non-probability sampling, are, and stratified random sampling is probability sampling. So it is not covered under non-probability sampling. That is option number 1, stratified random sampling. Question 191. In which type of random selection every unit is not selected independently in terms of other units? Every unit is not selected independently in terms of other units. In which type of random selection? Systematic, simple random, lottery technique, random table. The options which are given in 2, 3, and 4. In all these situations, the sample, every unit of the sample is selected independently in terms of other units. Only in systematic sampling method, only first subject is selected independently. Remaining all are selected on the basis of the selection of the first one, so systematic. Question 192. Which are the methods of finding reliability of the test by split half method? Let us see. Spearman, Brown, Gutman, Convex alpha. Convex alpha is not split half method, so option number 1 is wrong. Spearman, Brown, Gutman, and Rural. Here all the 3 are the methods of split half for finding reliability of the test. Third, Spearman, Brown, Gutman, Kuder, Richardson. Kuder, Richardson is not a split half method. And Spearman, Brown, Convex alpha, and Kuder, Richardson number 4 is also incorrect. Option number 2 is correct. Spearman, Brown, Gutman, and Rural method are such methods in which the reliability is found by split half method. Option number 2. 193. Which are the methods of finding criterion validity of the test? Let us see. Predictive and factor. It is false. Number 2, predictive and concurrent. Number 3, concurrent and factor. It is false. Concurrent and content. It is also false. So correct option is predictive and concurrent, which are the methods of finding criterion validity of the test. And those two are, according to the options, predictive and concurrent. Question 194. What will be the difficulty value of an item if all the subjects have responded it correctly? Difficulty value in item analysis. If all the subjects have responded a particular item correctly, then what will be the difficulty value? 0, 1, more than 1, less than 0. Friends, if this situation is there, if all the subjects have responded correctly to a particular item, then its difficulty value will be only 1. So option number 2 is correct. 195. Which reliability of questionnaire is found by test retest method of questionnaire? By test retest method, let us see internal consistency, homogeneity, it is impossible. Alternate questionnaire coefficient, coefficient of stability, and Spearman-Brown. Friends, here option number 3, coefficient of stability is correct option in terms of questionnaire. If test retest method is applied, then it is called coefficient of stability. Question 196. In which two ways the researcher can participate in the group for observation? Uh, covert and overt, covert and controlled, covert and controlled, overt and controlled, covert and uncontrolled. In some of the researches like ethnographic research, the researcher has to be a part of the group. So he has to do participatory observation, participatory study, and the two types are there for participating in two methods are there, two ways are there for participating in the group for observation, and those two are covert and overt. 197. Which methods of measuring attitude were developed by Thurston? Attitude measurement, method of measuring attitude, that is, which are developed by Thurston. Number 1, equal interval, successive interval, unequal interval. No method is there like unequal interval, so it is false. Paired comparison, equal interval, successive interval. Number 3, successive interval, unequal interval, paired comparison. Here again, unequal interval has come, so it is false. Number 4, paired comparison, equal interval and unequal interval. Here again, unequal interval has come. So correct option is 2. Thurston has given 3 methods for measuring attitude, and those 3 are paired comparison, equal interval, and successive interval. Question 198. In which type of research method? Internal and external criticism of sources of reference are essential. Internal and external criticism of the source of reference are essential. Content analysis, descriptive, historical, experimental. Friends, internal and external criticism of the sources are done in historical research. So option 3 is correct. Question 199. What of the following can be checked by population survey? If population survey is conducted, then what of the following can be checked? Number 1, number of vehicles with the people living in a particular street. It can be done by population survey. Blood test to know the blood group of a particular person. It cannot be done. We cannot take out the entire blood present in the body of a person to check the blood group. So it is false. Checking of the life of all the bulbs produced in a certain bulb factory. It is also impossible. Here also, population survey cannot be done to check the life of all the bulbs. Number 4, checking done to decide the taste of the food. It also cannot be done. For tasting the food, the entire food cannot be eaten. So option number 1 is there, in which population survey can be done. Number of to know the number of vehicles with the people living in a particular street. Question 200. Which is the basic condition to find correlation coefficient by Carl Pearson's method? Basic condition for KP's method to find out correlation coefficient. Number one, both variables should possess qualitative data. If qualitative data is there, then KP's method cannot be applied. Values of both the variables should change simultaneously. It is required. There should be a linear relationship between two variables. Number four, cause and effect relationship should not be there between two variables. So number four and one is totally wrong. And two, values of both the variables should change simultaneously. It is necessary, but the most important condition for correlation coefficient that is found by Carl Pearson's method is there should be linear relationship between two variables. If linear relationship is not there, then correlation coefficient cannot be found by Carl Pearson's method. Friends, so option number 3 is correct. Friends, here part 10 of research aptitude gets over, and part 11 will be presented soon. Till then, goodbye, all the best.